Hello, it's Linda with No Frills ASMR. I had a couple of requests to go over the different policies of the different candidates for president, and I was like, nope, I'll nope out of that. But then my son received this letter in the mail, and I thought it was kind of interesting because it is by a group called Youth Service America, and you can Google them, and they're a nonprofit group for 5 to 25-year-olds. Interesting. And they are nonpartisan. Now, when I looked it up, it is nonpartisan. It appears it might be nonpartisan, but leans right. But I don't know about that. I think it's pretty nonpartisan. So if you are sick of politics and don't want to hear anything about this, get out of this video right now and do not look at the comments. And speaking of comments, comment at your own risk. If I even post this, I don't know if I will, because I have not read this yet. I am doing this. I'm going rogue here. But what they have here is the issues, and then each candidate. And what it says, I read this part, it says, Guides.vote is a nonpartisan effort to show where candidates stand. We do not support or oppose any political party or candidate. We include candidates polling 15% or more. So that's why they don't have, Jill Stein on here, because she doesn't poll that high. Use the QR code on the right for online versions, including links to credible sources and other candidates. Vote411.org offers guides to local races and how to vote. For campuses, see Campus Vote Project. And then they have student voting. So I thought I might read through this. And my concern is comments, and I could just turn the comments off, but I feel like people want to make their voices heard, and certainly have in the past. But some people don't know how to do that in a polite and kind way. They use bad words and call me bad names, so please don't do that. Nobody wants that. I don't want it. Nobody wants it. But anyway, so that's what I'm saying, at your own risk if you comment, because people will respond. And I don't always see that right away. And it's just me. I'm just a person who works full time and is doing this as a hobby and to learn things. So my husband and kids say, don't do this, Mom. But I mean, it is what it is, right? So here we go. So yeah, if you don't like something that Kamala has to say or Donald has to say, don't get mad at me. Write to them. Okay, so it's the issues are here. And then in this one is Kamala Harris, and this one is Donald Trump. She is the Democrat and he is the Republican. It says see guides.vote for online guides with links and sources. And so they say KamalaHarris.com and DonaldJTrump.com. Okay, so they start here with one of the hot button issues. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I don't know if I'll post this, we'll see. All right, it says abortion, ban or legal? And the blue says legal. Every woman should have the right to make decisions about her own body. This fight is about freedom. With Biden strengthened abortion pill access and abortion patient protections, overturned Trump Planned Parenthood federal funding ban, would sign national abortion rights bill if Congress passes it. And then red says ban. After 50 years of failure, I was able to kill Roe v. Wade. Did so by appointing 3 anti-abortion Supreme Court justices. It was a miracle, and these things are in quotes, so just so you know, when they have those kind of written, they're in quotes. States should decide for themselves, potentially monitoring women's pregnancies and prosecuting women for getting abortions. Abortion is really not that big of an issue. Climate change. Should climate change be a top priority? Yes. Blue, this is blue. We're seeing the climate crisis every day in real time. We must do more. Cast the deciding vote to commit $369 billion to climate and clean energy, the biggest investment in U.S. history. Supported $1.2 trillion in infrastructure. Includes reducing greenhouse gas emissions. No longer would ban hydraulic fracking. Red says no. Climate change is a hoax. The world will start getting cooler. Withdrew from the Paris Climate Pact. Will expand coal and oil production. I want to drill, baby, drill. Asked oil and gas executives to donate $1 billion so he could reverse Biden's climate initiatives. I won't make any comments on anything unless it's just like that they're in quotation marks. Climate justice. How to ensure effectiveness and fairness in law enforcement. I'm sorry, criminal justice. I was seeing this word. How to ensure effectiveness and fairness in law enforcement. Police are dedicated public servants. As a prosecutor, increased felony convictions by 1/3. But public safety requires community trust. Has supported better training, banning chokeholds, and prosecuting police misconduct. Red says, police are under siege. Cut back active federal oversight of excess force. Those supported a database to track it. Admires Chinese approach of quick trials and a death penalty for drug dealers, so there will be a zero drug problem. The economy. How to improve the economy and make daily life more affordable. Expand child tax credit. Give tax credits for affordable housing builders and subsidize first-time homebuyers. Restrict price gouging on groceries and lower drug costs by negotiating prices. Supported a bipartisan infrastructure bill. Red. Increased taxes, also known as tariffs, on imported goods. Cut housing demands with mass deportations. To lower prices would deregulate businesses, rein in wasteful federal spending, and unleash American energy. Opposed infrastructure bill. Education. Limit. I'm just trying to read it because it's smeared. Limit teaching about racism and gender identity. By the way, when this came, I thought it was garbage like mail, so I kind of ripped it open a little bit aggressively. That is not any slight to President Trump there. Okay, there we go. All right, education. Limit teaching about racism and gender identity. No. In Florida, extremists passed a law, don't say gay, trying to instill fear in our teachers. Now they want to replace history with lies, teaching that enslaved people benefited from slavery. Children should be taught the truth. Red says yes. Certified teachers who embrace patriotic values would cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, gender ideology. Restricted diversity training for federal employees and contractors. A separate video I should do critical race theory, but that's a hot button issue. Okay, election. Did Joe Biden win the 2020 presidential election? Yes, the election results were certified by state after state and reaffirmed by court after court. On January 6, we all saw what our nation would look like if the forces who seek to dismantle our democracy are successful. Red, no, called the election a big lie and a massive fraud that would justify termination of parts of the Constitution. Called those who stormed the U.S. Capitol unbelievable patriots, would pardon them fully. Gun laws, loosen or tighten gun regulations. Tighten. Every person deserves the freedom to live safe from gun violence. Supported the bipartisan gun safety bill and required background checks for gun show and online sales. Red. Loosen. To the NRA, he said. No one will lay a finger on your firearms. Plans to roll back Biden gun restrictions. Reversed Obama-era background checks for those with mental illness. Oh my gosh. I hope I can read these. Okay. Health care. Repeal or expand the Affordable Care Act, ACA, also known as Obamacare. Expand. Healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Cast a tie-breaking Senate vote to expand ACA and lower Medicare drug prices, including a $35 monthly insulin cost. Would link drug costs to costs that comparable wealthy nations pay. Red. Repeal. Terminate Obamacare is a catastrophe. Terminate, period. Obamacare is a catastrophe. As president, promised to replace it with something terrific, but repeal failed in the Senate by one vote, supported an unsuccessful lawsuit to overturn it. Immigration. How to handle immigration. Support a path to citizenship for DACA participants brought to the U.S. as children. Blue. Supports comprehensive immigration reform. Backed the bipartisan Senate Border Security Bill. Rejects mass deportation of undocumented immigrants. We are a nation of immigrants. Let us all address the issue with the urgency and seriousness it requires. Supports pathways to citizenship for DACA participants and undocumented spouses of citizens. Red. Illegal immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Will use the National Guard and local police with possible detention camps to deport 15 to 20 million illegal immigrants. Oppose the bipartisan Senate immigration bill. Tried to end DACA, D-A-C-A. Supreme Court overruled. Would renew his Muslim ban and end automatic citizenship for everyone born in the U.S. Israel and Gaza. Response to Israel's invasion of Gaza following October Hamas attacks. Blue. We need a ceasefire and a two-state solution. Israel has a right to defend itself, but too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. Civilians suffered is devastating. Palestinians and Israelis both are entitled to security. Red. Has supported Israeli action. Get the job done. Says Israel releasing images of bombed Gaza buildings loses the PR war. Gaza protesters are raging lunatics and Hamas sympathizers. Would deport student protesters. Labor. Make it easier or harder for unions to organize. Blue. Easier. Unions built the American middle class. We are fighting to protect the sacred right to organize. Backs pro-union laws. Walked UAW picket line. Build an economy where every person, not just the wealthy, can thrive. Red. Harder. made it harder for unions to organize, restricted federal employee collective bargaining, praised employers who fire striking workers. They go on strike and you say, "You're all gone." Sorry, I just could picture him doing that in action. Striking auto workers were sold down the river by their leadership. LGBTQ rights. Limit or expand LGBTQ rights. Expand. In 2004, officiated some of the nation's first same-sex marriages. Helped repeal California's anti-gay marriage initiative. Biden administration protected LGBTQ medical patients from discrimination. Red. Limit. Weakened an Obama order protecting LGBTQ federal contractors from discrimination, banned transgender military service members, and ended anti-discrimination protections for transgender patients. Marijuana, ban or legal? Legal. Nobody should have to go to jail for smoking weed. Legalize and regulate. Supports Biden easing federal prohibitions. Red. Unclear. It does significant damage. Reversed Obama rule to not prosecute in states where legal, but ultimately didn't prosecute. Minimum wage. Raise federal minimum wage from $7.25 an hour. Blue. Yes, supports Congress raising the national minimum wage to $15. Biden administration raised to $15 for federal contractors. Red. No. A $15 minimum wage would eliminate jobs. Threaten to veto. Question need for a federal minimum wage. Let the states decide. Social Security. Cut Social Security or raise retirement age to stabilize program. Blue. No. Would protect and stabilize Social Security by making wealthier Americans pay into Social Security at the same rate as everyone else. They'd keep paying in above their current $168,600 a year income cap. They keep paying in above their current. Okay, I read that right. Mostly yes. There's a lot you can do in cutting. Also flags bad management. Proposed $35 billion cuts in Social Security disability programs, but will never do anything to hurt Social Security. Student financial aid. Supports lowering interest on student loans and/or forgiving them. Blue. Yes. Supported Biden forgiving $144 billion for over 4 million borrowers. After the Supreme Court blocked the Biden-Harris $430 billion forgiveness plan. No. Called student loan forgiveness unfair to those not attending college. Vetoed forgiving loans of defrauded students. Proposed cutting support programs for student borrowers. Taxes. Raise or lower taxes on the wealthy and corporations. Blue. Raise. Voted against Trump tax cuts, which included the largest corporate cut in U.S. history. Supported increasing corporate tax rates. To boost teacher salaries, proposed raising estate taxes on the very wealthy. Red. Lower. His 2017 tax cut included the largest corporate cuts in U.S. history and major tax cuts for the wealthy. Would extend and expand when they expire in 2025. Raising business taxes will lead to the destruction of your jobs. Ukraine and Russia. Support defending Ukraine against Russian invasion. Blue. Yes, regarding Putin's unprovoked, unjustified war against Ukraine, we are committed to defend democratic values and stand up to dictators. Red. Mostly no. To end the war will push Ukraine to give up territory to Russia. Russia should do whatever the hell they want to NATO countries that don't pay enough. Voting rules. Make voting harder or easier? Blue. Easier. Pass bills to protect voting rights and make voting and registration easier. Biden administration directed federal agencies to help people register. Red. Harder. Has long supported stronger voter ID requirements. Sued to bar ballot drop boxes. Encouraged Republicans to vote early, but said early ballots get lost or are phony. So there you have it. If you want to screenshot that and look it up yourself. There they are. I was trying to not make like any little snide remarks or jokes because I had a couple. But so I hope that helps for the people who requested it, and I hope that didn't make anybody mad. But them's the way it is. So what do you think is your number one issue? It's funny because somebody came to my house and asked, and I gave an issue. But after they left, I thought, well, I think it's really something else. But, oh well. There are a lot of issues that are important, aren't there? Okay. Well, hopefully I don't get canceled